on the middle way. 400 verses root text. Chapter 16. 376. For various reasons, that which is empty appears nonetheless as if not empty. These are refuted individually by all the chapters. 377. When the author and subject also exist, it is incorrect to call them empty. Also with regard to these three, whatever arises in dependence does not exist. 378. If through flaws concerning emptiness, things were established as not empty, why would emptiness not be established? Through flaws concerning lack of emptiness.
379. In refuting the thesis of others, and in proving your own thesis. If on the one hand you like to disprove, why do you not like to prove? 380. When thoroughly investigated, the non-existent is not a thesis, then all three, such as oneness, are also not theses. 381. Where a pot is directly perceptible, the argument of emptiness is meaningless. Here reasons appearing in textual systems are not acceptable, elsewhere they are. 382. When there is nothing that is not empty, how can emptiness be so? When the one does not exist, why should the antidote exist?
383. If there were a thesis, absence of the thesis. Would an entity be a thesis? But where there is no thesis, what can be the counter-thesis? 384. How can fire be hot when things do not exist? This was refuted above. It was said that even hot fire does not exist. 385. If through seeing things one could refute the statement that things do not exist, who then sees the elimination of fallacies regarding all four theses?
386. When there is nowhere, even in particles, a truly existent entity, how can it occur? Even for Buddhas it does not exist. Thus it is irrelevant. 387. If they are not twofold, how can anything have an existent entity? If that is reasonable to you also, why raise further arguments? 388. Regarding the non-functional aspect of all things, differentiations are inappropriate. That which is seen in all substantial entities is not differentiable. 389. If owing to non-existence you claim no reply is made the other's thesis, why should you not also prove your own thesis which is refuted by reasons?
390. Though the world says it is easy to find reasons with which to refute, why can the errors regarding the other's thesis not be stated? 391. If just by saying they exist, things really did exist, why should they not also be non-existent? Just by saying they do not exist. 392. If a thing is not non-existent, because the term existent is ascribed, neither is it existent, because the term existent is applied.
393. If everything is a convention, because expressed by ordinary people, how can anything which exists as its own suchness be a convention? 394. If things are non-existent because things all do not exist, in that case it is incorrect that all theses concern the non-existence of things. 395. Since a thing does not exist, a non-thing cannot exist. Without a thing's existence, how can a non-thing be established? 396. If things are not empty because they are empty by virtue of reasons, the thesis would not be distinct from the reasons, and thus the reasons would not exist. 397. If things are not empty because there are analogies for emptiness, can one say, just like the crow, so too the self is black?
398. If things exist inherently, what good is it to perceive emptiness? Perception by way of conceptions binds. This is refuted here. 399. To say one exists and the other does not is neither reality nor the conventional. Therefore it cannot be said that this exists and that does not. 400. Against one who holds no thesis that things exist, do not, or do and do not exist. Counter-arguments cannot be raised, no matter how long one tries. Translated by Ruth. Sonam. Dharamsala. India, 1994.